Welcome again, Libra. It's 2018. Happy New Year. I'm Dadhichi from astrological.com.au. Just check your chart out. Everything along this line is the horizon. Anything underneath it is what's invisible and not seen. So therefore, this huge cluster of planets taking place in 1, 2, 3, the fourth sector of your horoscope is very, very telling and has a lot to do with your family life, your domestic sphere, and really more importantly, the sense of well-being and peace that you feel. Now, Saturn having just moved into this area late in 2017, and also having Pluto there, you notice here around the middle of January this combined influence of Venus, the Sun, Pluto, Mercury, Saturn, Moon. I mean, that is just an extraordinary level of energy. You've got this hard aspect from Uranus indicating volatility. You've got the friendlier aspect of Mars and Jupiter here, but that's a hell of a lot of energy on your domestic sphere. It has to do with the maternal side of your family, but overall your sense of peace. So we also notice that there is an eclipse taking place on the 31st. So that's when the moon is full up here in the sign of Leo, which is your 11th house of friendship. Fortunately, by that time you can see the energies dispersing quite a bit. And up here, this 11th house has to do with your social activities. Everything moving out of this 4th house into your 5th house, indicating a shift from the family matters more to your creativity, love affairs, and that type of thing throughout February. We have the remaining Saturn and Pluto combination here, which really, this has a lot to do with the transformations that are taking place. And Saturn brings with it a lot of responsibility. So for some of you, there may be, I guess, responsibilities within the family that make it a little bit harder for you to do exactly what it is that you would like to do. Having that sense of, well, I want to go here, but actually I'm restrained here. This Saturn here also, and that's interesting too. Look at that when Mars pokes its nose into this 4th house affairs after March. This is the classic symptom of frustration here, especially when it leads up to this exact conjunction around, just around here, 29th, 30th of March. That's a very powerful conjunction there. And you need to be a little bit careful at that time, especially because this 4th house has to do with vehicles and travelling. It could be problems with your car, acquisition of car, could be problem with properties. This Mars and Saturn is also to do with construction work, renovation work. Look at the retrograde motion of these planets. Mars will also do a retrograde here as it hits a certain degree. And you see this is a revisionary period where you actually have to go back over a bit of old ground. So be careful going into any negotiations, especially if it relates to cars. These are the bigger ticket items in your life. May 16 is very important too. You'll notice here Uranus just transiting into your 8th house of sexuality and intimacy. Now that can bring with it some excitement, but it can also be significant in terms of unexpected twists and changes in your life. And that's going to continue up until November 7 in your case, when it comes back over that place, back into the 7th house of relationships. So this is also a progressive planet. You see at the same time Mars moving into your 5th house opposite Venus. So there's there's the passionate side of your nature coming out at this time of the year, in the middle of the year. There's another very important eclipse that will be taking place on August 11, and that is shown by the movement of the moon here into the position of the sun and the north node, and that again is heralding some important developments in your social life, because this 11th house is all to do with your networking and connections. Notice here Mercury retrograde at that time, and continuing up there for a while, all through August here, 18, 19. It goes stationary and then direct after the 22nd. So if there's any misunderstandings at that time of the year, notice also the retrograde stationary Mars in your domestic sphere. These two planets continue retrograde a little more. Mars will move out of this area just in the middle part of September. You can see it here just happening around the 13th into your 5th house of creativity and love affairs, activating again that part of your horoscope, especially when the moon moves there, September 21. The ingress of the sun into the sign of Libra. This is the solar return for you. September, October is usually a nice period of the year when your energy levels are up higher. You've got Mercury there, makes you communicative. A little bit of tension that may be taking place here with the Sun-Uranus opposition October, but that shouldn't be too much trouble. That just gives life a little bit of an edge. So all in all, it looks like you're having an exciting time. Look at this here. This is important, and there's another transit I want to talk about. A lot of financial stuff happening in the middle to late part of October. And then here we mentioned November 8, that very important transit out of Scorpio by Jupiter into the 3rd house of negotiations. And for some of you, some travels later in the year, but maybe even before Christmas, as shown by the Sun, Jupiter, Mercury conjunction in this 3rd house. So that's exciting. It's got to do with a new way of thinking, expanding your thinking processes. Be careful here as well in the early part of December. That transit of Mars and Neptune is not good. Allergies to foods, to different environmental factors. But nevertheless, your finances should be doing quite well at that time. This is a lovely chart, a challenging year for you, especially on the domestic front, but I think it's nothing your malleable ways can't deal with. And don't forget, at astrology.com.au, I've put together your 12-month, 3,000 words, so you can get hold of that. It's absolutely free. Astrology.com.au is the site, and I look forward to your company there. And again, next month here in February, when we take a look at the ongoing transits for Sun sign Libra. Thanks for joining me. Take care now. Bye-bye.